Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the PLA podcast. We have an incredible guest here today, someone that I've been looking forward to interviewing for a very long time, a sweetheart of the PLA community, and such a gem. And truly, I've been wanting to get to know him more personally over so long, just because of the energy that he emanates in every single call. Rajiv, welcome to the PLA podcast.
Thank you, Dinya. It was a great pleasure to have on your podcast.
I'm so excited. I want to formally introduce you to our audience because they haven't had the privilege like we have had in PLA of getting to know you. So I would love to run them through your story just to begin before we jump into all my questions. So today's guest is Rajiv, a humble and curious software engineer whose career journey reflects both technical mastery and lifelong learning. With over 15 years of experience in enterprise content management across the financial and healthcare sector, Rajiv has evolved from developing desktop applications to leading web and cloud-based innovations. He currently brings his expertise to Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, where he continues to push boundaries and refine his craft. Originally from Maharashtra, India, Rajiv now calls suburban Detroit home, where life revolves around family, nature, and endurance. When he's not coding or problem solving, you'll find him training for marathons or out for long hikes, testing limits, just as he does in his work. Rajiv's story is one of curiosity, discipline, and quiet determination. A reminder that growth isn't about speed, but about consistency and heart. Rajiv, welcome to the PLA podcast. It's a true pleasure and a real honor to have you on today as our guest.
Thank you, Dunya. That's a great introduction. I love your energy, and it's a great privilege to be with the PLA.
Oh, well, I wanted you to take us back in time. I want to find out, where did it all originally begin for you in your career? I'm very curious.
Yeah, definitely. As a child growing up back in India, and my parents they work for a state government job, and because of that, I had to move from one city to another city within the state and get to connect a lot of people, a lot of new friends I had to make whenever new place we go. And the work my dad used to work, though is in the one of those biggest World Bank provided dam construction for the Maharashtra, one of those very dry region area. And my dad used to work in a clerical area, but I used to see a different location when we go. There is new uh, they call as colony. They build a new colonies there around, and we set up and move on to the another place. And I do used to see a lot of constructions, and I did see the construction of big dam there, and I
Mm.
was inspired to become an engineer.
Incredible. I love that the inspiration came from your childhood and just seeing this dam, which I'm assuming, as a little kid, you're looking at a dam and it's ginormous and powerful and has all this energy. And you're thinking, wow, there's almost a sense of like overwhelm and magnificence to this piece.
That's true. And from that day, I was dreaming to become an engineer.
Incredible. And then where did that originally start? Like, you studied engineering back in India. I'm very curious.
Yeah, back in India, after when I started career towards my engineering, as usual, I got to get admitted to the engineering college, and I'm grateful for my not only my parent but like my uncle, my family member who also inspired. Like, one of my uncle, he was engineer, and he also one of the inspiration, and I'm grateful for his direction. When I was about to get into admission, natural to ask, okay, I am so many. I just want to be engineer. Now there are so many options. Like you have civil engineer, mechanical engineer, environmental engineer, what engineer you want to be, electronic engineer. And as naturally what happens is, oh, where is the career will go for me? And that time I reached out to my uncle who was engineer, and he said, "Oh, you go for computer engineering. Don't worry." At that time, it is just the new area, and that time electronics was big,
Wow.
but computer engineering was just started, and we are just third engineering batch in that college, and I was wondering where that career will go. But anyway, I just took a jump into that and did my computer engineering long back.
Wow, it's so interesting to think at that time how small and how new that field was. And now computer engineering is everywhere we go. Like it's in retail, it's in finance, it's in cybersecurity, it's literally everywhere. And to think that you were at the very, very beginning of this huge curve and the beginning really of one of the biggest industries that we've
Yep,
seen, really.
yep, and that's what I'm very grateful for people surrounded me and who guided me to reach to this level.
Wow. I'm curious to know what is one piece of advice you wish someone had gave you at that time?
One of the great ad- advice I received when I was started my career is one great thing is I got a great mentor at early part of my career and great friends who also help to make sure we are on the correct path, and also the friendship and the mentorship really helped me to grow in my career, early part of my career.
Wow. I think one of the key elements is you're so right. Oftentimes we think of our career as ourselves and what we've accomplished and what we face, but really it's the people along our journey that make us grow and really allow us to experience new things, expand our career, see things differently, learn, challenge ourselves more than ever. And it's so powerful. Those, whether they are mentors, whether they are colleagues, or people simply that we meet along the way.
That's very true. It's this one of the the way when the place where I did my engineering graduate, there is no any computer industries. The only nearest place I can go is Bombay. That time that called Bombay. Now it is Mumbai, and it's just like a New York of or India, correct? And going there, first thing is like find out accommodation and find out a place to live first in such a big city. And luckily, my uncle was there. He was helped me begin my career there to and that's where the humble begin started.
It's beautiful, Rajiv. And I'm curious, so many times we talk about the good times of our career and the opportunities and the things that came to us. We don't oftentimes talk about the challenges, is what I believe, really, because so many of us are continuously going to face major challenges in our career. And oftentimes we don't quite know, are we the only ones going through this? Or is there someone else that has who is either going through it currently or has gone through it in the past? And I'd be curious to know, what were the biggest challenges of your own career?
It's a very great question. But yeah, one of the biggest challenge when I started my career as computer engineer is imagine I wanted to do software programming. I really wanted to write code programming, and the engineering I did, which allows us to learn about hardware and software. I could choose my path of going hardware design on the computer engineering as part of that, but I was very, very interested to do programming. And when reached out to Mumbai to search my first break or first job in programming, like as usual, in the current if you go to big Microsoft, Google, they will first ask you to go through analytical test. interview, all those things. I did all those on big companies like in those Mumbai city, and it's not. I'm not getting the what I was looking for. Like, it's as fresh graduate, big with energy. I give me any program, I'm going to crack it down, write it down, and make the better place. And there is another reason is like imagine the in India we use a railway system to move from one place to another. And one of the biggest challenges to come to the big city, come back. Okay, I know I'm going to leave for 4 or 5 days, but you have to book the ticket. And the first time I experienced the computer usage as a common person, how useful that is. Like usually before the computerization, you have to go to each of the window of which city you want to go and write a piece of paper and get all those things. But after computerization, it's so easy for go to any of those windows, you can book your ticket. You don't have to go to specific ticket to go to specific cities. So I see that impact in as a common person.
Mm.
And during that, in my early part of career, that's what inspired me to do a programming, do a coding. And after doing all these uh, different analytical tests going through, I couldn't get any of these big companies. Then there is one small startup company got it, and the way it got is, you will see that is currently happening. So the way is like when he called me for interview, he gave me a laptop, I desktop. Actually, that time it was desktop. Okay, so he asked me, okay, here is a program, write it. That's the interview. There is no like questions like do a analytical test and this that interview level 2 level 3, nothing. He asked, okay, I know you are just graduated, I just want to see how good you are in coding.
Mm.
That's what currently also nowadays any new program will come, nowadays they are giving coding test and then they go for interview. But that the first job as a program when I got it, literally I was did coding test in those days and
Wow.
got my first job.
Unbelievable.
And
Unbelievable.
yeah, it took almost 6 months. The reason is everybody is oh, you just graduated, you don't have experience, or you're not from the big Ivy college, or you're not from that big place, correct? But yeah, I as an engineer, I know how to code. Just give me the job.
Yeah. And I think,
So
yeah, this is a big challenge that a lot of people face is that, they may not have these big Ivy League schools or that credibility of working for these major companies and getting into the door. It's like oftentimes we see this joke moving around. People are trying to get their first jobs and they want, you know, straight A student with 10 years of experience, fresh out of college. And it's like, well, wait a minute, it doesn't work. So yeah, I can see where there's a lot of people that had that the challenge at the beginning of their careers of how do I break into the industry?
yeah,
Well, I don't have I have the talent, I have the skill, but I don't have the experience that they're requiring.
exactly. And that was the biggest challenge to begin my career as a computer engineer, software programmer. And it's a lot of later, lot of people I see, they came from different background, correct? They are mechanical engineer, but they thought, oh, there is a big career. But I have no other option. I have to be some in computer programming or something else within. I
Wow.
have no choice to change any other industries, correct?
Mhm. Absolutely. I'd be curious to know, Rajiv, what is your take on AI and what's been happening with AI?
Oh, it's a new way of working. Yeah, like if you remember, first time the internet came and the biggest search engine was, Yahoo was there, and then came the sleek and fastest Google came up late 90s, and everybody was googling. They are not saying searching, correct? They are saying googling. So it is it's the same thing happening for AI. Now, AI is at the forefront. The reason is it has been adopted by the people very quickly. Even my wife, she's in accounting, she works, she used the chat GPT for her simple email creation to send any note to the customer or to the clients. And just like 20 years back, everybody was using Google, correct? It is going to be a part and parcel of everyday life. Now, only thing is how effectively you are going to use for your benefit and day-to-day life, how will like encompass all those activities.
I love it. And it's so true. We're seeing it everywhere. And it's simplifying a lot of the mundane tasks that are filling our day to day, like writing these emails, etc. And it's been a great tool to be able to heighten our level of productivity in a day. It's yeah, and it's a no-brainer. It's unavoidable in the world that we live in, truly.
So I luckily at my organization, I we have different LLM models available. I get to use it every day and day out. Like I kind of start forgetting my search criteria in Google and trying to understand, learn prompting, engineering, what we call it as, and how you get best result out of each of LLM model or large language model to get the effective result for your work to do day in day out.
Absolutely. And making it an integral part of our work, especially in corporations and organizations, is a non-negotiable, really. And it's like, how quickly can we have teams adapt to this new tool at our disposal to really smoothen out the process and their integration into how life is now and the reality that we're facing.
That's correct. That's very true, and it is already impacting not only just as a developer or engineer, but across the non-competing people who are really effectively using those tools. So we are not we are going to use effectively every day, and that is a new norm now.
Absolutely. Rajiv, I'm so curious to know what is the impact and legacy you're still looking forward to create and leave behind in this world still?
Yeah, that's a great question, Dunya. So I I just look at myself as with the humble beginning from middle class family back in India. I never dream of coming to US at all, and just the only dream was to become engineer. And when I look back now, I can see my two kids growing up here in US. They are graduating. One kid, another guy, my son, he graduated, and also I lot of my family members and my extended family back in India, they look forward to me with great inspiration that despite
Mm.
all these difficulties, I could able to reach my dream, and coming to US is definitely is a dream come true.
Wow. I love that piece around, what was originally the dream was just simply to become an engineer, and what ended up manifesting or creating itself was so much greater than your original dream is truly a testament to life's magic and life's in unbelievable ability to create these results that we couldn't even imagine possible at the very beginning.
Yeah, and not only that, like I be a grounded and be a humble that it is not just you are living in a part of the US, but just shared your all your biggest thing whatever you are receiving here, knowledge and wealth is shared with the family back in India,
Mm.
and let them grow and help to see they also grow. When since you are going far away other part of the world, I can see they also grow along with me.
Wow, I love that, Rajiv. I think there's something really beautiful in that when you give yourself permission to grow, and whether that is moving to the US or a new country and really going after your dreams and career, it gives those that you love permission to do so also. And it really gives everybody an opportunity to keep pushing past their boundaries to something much greater.
That's true. That's very true.
I I'm curious, Rajiv. I know you've been part of the PLA community for many months now, and I would be curious to know what has been your biggest takeaway from PLA thus far?
The biggest takeaway for PLA is the proximity. That is, it's a game changer. The reason I'm saying is, since pandemic, we started working remotely at home, and before pandemic, a lot of impromptu learning, listening, and knowledge share happens during water cooler talk. Correct. So, hey, and someone passing by in different department, hey, what's happening in this? I saw this and this project coming up, or some presentation comes up, you or in some impromptu talk happens, you talk to the people. That's completely stopped now because of that. And even though you are on online, you are working remotely with the instant, but still that kind of connection is diminished over a period of time.
Mm.
So my biggest takeaway with the proximity is like, if I am talking about spring, it is not a mechanical spring, correct? When I'm talking about cloud, it is not that weather cloud. Okay, so it's someone who can relate to me, and that is the, and also I can, they can relate what I'm talking about. Correct. So the proximity really helps not only to convey my thought, my ideas. Also, I can discuss with the PLA member, about where is the growth is there for my career. What is the biggest takeaway from these challenges? And those discussion, impromptu discussion happens, and that is the biggest takeaway for me.
I think there's something so powerful in what you've shared. Times have changed so much post pandemic, where these beautiful conversations where we used to get to connect with people from the office originally started around the cooler, the water cooler, as we often say, or with our colleagues in the cubicles next to us and the offices next to us. And all of a sudden that has disappeared drastically, especially for those working at
Yeah.
home. And the power of proximity is so key and so important to our growth, to our evolution, to our creativity, to our resilience, to our energy level, really, and to thinking on our feet innovatively. And so, creating a community or being part of a community like PLA, where there is that proximity that allows us to still have those conversations and to continue to grow through that proximity, is so key and really essential if we want to keep being top of mind in our careers.
Yeah, that is why even after year, I still feel connected to the PLA member, and I can see and feel the energy of growth and focus when I was looking towards my career.
Wow, it's beautiful, Rajiv. And what I'm wanting to do is I'm just going to pop on stage this QR code in case someone is curious about PLA and they're like, "What is PLA? What's the community about?" This particular QR code will give you access to the free training where there's a ton of value given by our leaders. Even if you just attend simply this training by itself, you will leave with so many tools that will change quite a bit in your career already. And so I encourage everyone that is curious and just wants to attend to always just take a look and just take a look to see if they're available, and to see, just to get the value that's being given and offered out through this training, which is a blessing, a true blessing and gift. So I want to thank you, Rajiv, for your time, for being present with us today, and for sharing your beautiful insights with us and our PLA community.
Thank you, Dunya. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure, and it was a great interview, and happy to share my knowledge, experience, and PLA community, my experience.
Yeah, and looking forward to having you on again. For all those listening to our PLA podcast, we will catch you off for another episode shortly. And Rajiv, looking forward to getting to interview again on the PLA podcast, of course.
Of course, we'll meet again, Dunya. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome, and have a beautiful day, everyone. Have a beautiful day, Rajiv. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. See you.